The offer curve, also known as the reciprocal demand curve, illustrates the willingness of a country to trade. It shows the quantity of one good a country is willing to export, offer, in exchange for a given quantity of another good it wants to import. Derivation. The offer curve is derived from a country's production possibility frontier, PPF, and its community indifference curves. The PPF shows the various combinations of goods a country can produce given its resources and technology. Indifference curves represent the preferences of a country's consumers for different bundles of goods. Shape. The offer curve typically bows outwards, reflecting the law of increasing opportunity cost. This means that as a country specializes more in producing one good, the opportunity cost of producing even more of that good increases. Intersection. The intersection of two countries' offer curves determines the equilibrium terms of trade, the relative prices of goods, and the volume of trade between them. Heckscher-Ohlin theory. The Heckscher-Ohlin (HO) theory is a major model in international trade that explains trade patterns based on differences in factor endowments, resources like labor, capital, land between countries. Core idea. Countries will have a comparative advantage in producing goods that use their abundant factors intensively. They will export these goods and import goods that use their scarce factors intensively. Assumptions. Two countries, two goods, two factors of production, e.g., labor and capital. Factors are mobile within a country, but immobile between countries. Identical tastes and preferences across countries. No transportation costs or other trade barriers. Perfect competition in both goods and factor markets. Intuition. Imagine two countries, one with abundant labor, labor-abundant country, and another with abundant capital, capital-abundant country. The labor-abundant country will have a comparative advantage in producing labor-intensive goods, e.g., textiles, while the capital-abundant country will have a comparative advantage in producing capital-intensive goods, e.g., machinery. When trade opens up, the labor-abundant country will specialize in textiles and export them to the capital-abundant country, while the capital-abundant country will specialize in machinery and export them to the labor-abundant country. Mathematical derivation, simplified. Let's consider a simplified version with two countries, home and foreign, two goods, X and Y, and two factors, labor, L and capital K. 1. Production functions. Home, X equals F of Lx Kx, Y equals G of Ly Ky, foreign X equals F, Lx Kx, Y equals G, Ly Ky. 2. Factor endowments. Home, Lk, foreign Lk. 3. Cost minimization. Firms in each country minimize the cost of producing each good subject to their production functions and factor prices, wages for labor, rental rate for capital. 4. Production possibility frontier, PPF. The PPF shows the maximum combinations of X and Y that each country can produce given its factor endowments and technology. 5. Relative prices and factor prices. In autarky, no trade, relative prices of goods are determined by the intersection of the PPF and community indifference curves. With trade, relative prices converge, and this affects factor prices in each country. 6. Specialization and trade. Countries specialize in producing the goods that use their abundant factors intensively. This leads to increased production and consumption possibilities for both countries. Key implications of HO theory. Trade equalization. Trade tends to equalize factor prices between countries. Income distribution. Trade can affect income distribution within countries, benefiting owners of abundant factors and potentially harming owners of scarce factors. Criticisms and limitations. Simplifying assumptions. The HO model relies on several simplifying assumptions that may not hold in the real world. Factor price equalization not always observed. Factor prices are not fully equalized in practice due to various factors like trade barriers, transportation costs, and differences in technology. Other factors matter. The HO theory focuses on factor endowments but ignores other important factors like technology, economies of scale, and product differentiation. Let me know if you would like a more in-depth explanation of any specific aspect of the offer curve or the Heckscher-Ohlin theory.